Not around here anyway.
Yeah, well, of course not.
A week ago, we were discussing how space in the British prisons has created problems for the government, being caught short and having to release prisoners early to make room for fresh offenders
Yes.
because, because we wouldn't want them to get too cramped, would we?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Um, it's surprising how things are different in other parts of the world.
Mhm.
And in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, they deal with this problem in a slightly different way. Um, at the largest national prison in the capital city of Kinshasa, they had a slight problem of too many inmates for the places allocated for them. So of the 1,500 places in the prison, they were housing 12,000 inmates. A bit of a squeeze,
Mhm.
don't you know? And so, in typical Congolese fashion, the inmates became a little bit shirty
Mhm. Okay. Yes.
and they began to protest. And
Mhm.
even some tried to escape from wing number 4, part of that
Okay.
prison.
Mhm.
The authorities not liking the idea of them trying to escape and being
Mhm.
shirt, opened fire. And between a rain of bullets and the stampedes which ensued,
Yeah.
129 residents were killed and 59 were injured.
Ouch. Mhm.
Those that tried to escape failed,
Mhm.
possibly killed as they approached the outer walls, or crushed by the stampede, as one can imagine. When several thousand people try to run at the same time,
Yeah.
somebody will inevitably will fall or get pushed
Yeah.
and make. I mean, if it can happen in the 5,000 meters at the Paris Olympics, where
Mhm.
on the home straight, the
Yeah.
British run,
Yeah.
the fellow was pushed. Imagine between 12,000 inmates in a prison, all trying to get to the same place at the same time.
Yeah. Bundle effect. Yes. Yeah.
Now, the sad thing is that the majority of the inmates are pre-trial detainees and
Mhm.
haven't yet been to court to try and prove their innocence.
Mhm.
So I imagine that the majority were petty criminals, which countries like in Africa and South America seem to want to put in the slammer anyways.
Mhm.
This is not the first time this has happened in the Congo. In 2017, a similar situation arose because of a rift between two rival factions.
Mhm.
Now, the big question is, now we get into it,
Yeah.
where is the International Court of Human Rights when they should be needed? Or is Africa and South America off limits? Because if I'll tell you, all you needed is two extra people over the limit of the British prisons,
Yeah.
and somebody will have a lawyer screaming human rights.
Mhm.
Right? So where is the International Court of Human Rights when they should be active?
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, you and I both live in Brazil. We know that what the hotels, prison hotels are like in Brazil. Yeah.
Score.
Uh,
You know what the score is.
yes. Yeah. I tell you what, I mean, okay, you and I are not going to transgress, but yeah, you would look at it and think, no, I don't particularly want to visit there for any reason. Um, yeah, yeah, with the have right here, it's pretty bad as grip as well. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a problem. I mean, okay, we have to say that Congo is a developing country. Um, Probably got suffers with high prison population, much as our prison population here and across Central and South America. There's not really the funds or the money to actually improve it, or the political desire either. Yeah, you're quite right. In the UK, they are, I wouldn't say they're hotels. I do know people that have been to prison who don't want to go back. There are some people that prefer it in prison, normally ex-forces or people, because they get a roof over their head and meals. But yeah.
Well, not everybody likes to get bombed, do they?
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. All right, yes. Yeah, we know it goes on. Yes. Um,
At least I suppose in a Congolese prison, the chances of you getting bummed is very remote because there are so many people. There's not enough space to there's not enough space to bum anybody.
well, yeah.
Go on, say it.
Yeah, I was going to say pack it in harder as well, but yeah, I'm not going to go down that route. It's a yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, the the International Court of Human Rights, yeah, has to be called in and do things. The UK is an easy target. Probably the US is an easy target. Other places are. If you start lifting the lid, as it were, on what goes on in the developing thing, you start causing all sorts of problems with vested interests and everything else.
You get in there.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, what do? You're bad people. You got to put them somewhere.
Well, once again, the majority of these people in this prison are pre-trial people.
Well, yeah, you can't.
You know what they do in the UK, I believe, is that before you go to court, they'll hold you in the police cells if they need to detain you.
Yeah, well, the police don't do that because it puts extra it requires extra resources.
In that case, you're released on bail until the court date.
Yeah, I mean, now we've got ankle bracelets and things like that, or reporting station, and everything else. Depends what you're being held for and bail and things. But it's a yeah, it's a problem. Human rights. I mean, yeah, prisoners are human beings, are entitled to human rights as well. Like you said, when you're cramming these people in, and you've got to remember, these people are still hardened people. A lot of them are. They're likely to be forming themselves into gangs, into smaller communities. Yeah, and they saw an opportunity. I mean, if you're in horrible conditions, if you can get out, I mean, human nature would dictate that. Something suddenly breaks down security, everyone goes charging to a gap or what they perceive as an opportunity. It's a funnel effect. Yeah, I mean, you've also got people who are armed who aren't backward at shooting on other human beings as well. Let's be honest about it. Let's be blunt about it. We have that here. You know, these people are trained to do that as well. Shoot first, ask the questions later. Yeah, horrible story. You've got to remember these prisoners all have mothers or parents, families, might even have families as well. Might be reasons why they're there. Poverty is a big issue as well. I mean, I'm not some liberal who's sort of saying, puts everything down to poverty, but it is an issue. It's a side issue.
Well, these sort of countries in development, tendency is that you put people in the prison, the threshold for them being there is very low.
Yes,
it's like in the very old days in the UK. You know, if you stole a chicken, you go to prison.
Yeah.
You know, and basically that's what you've got these days in these countries, in these African countries, and also in South America. You know, if you stealing somebody's chicken, you're gonna at the farm. Let me tell you, at the farm, somebody was nicking our chickens.
Yeah.
And I went down to the local police station, and they sent out a ronda. They sent out a police car to go around looking for the chicken stealer.
Well, yeah, they don't know it's happening unless somebody reports it. Yeah, they took action. They probably know who it was or is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, of course.
um, yeah, I've heard other stories in Brazil where they actually somebody had a crime committed against them, sat them in the police station, made them wait, and somehow managed to contrive to march the person they suspected in front of it and watch the reaction of this person.
Yep, yep.
The person, yeah. I've known of that happen here, but yeah, okay, that's a different thing. It's law and order. Yeah, I thought it's quite clever actually. Yeah, genius in the making. Um, but yeah, so yeah, then it's put up an identity parade. They already had the person there for the identity parade. Um, but yeah, it's a yeah. I mean, what you do with your criminal population is always an issue, and let's just hope that less and less people will eventually join it. Um, it's we do have well, it's been admitted in the UK now. In the UK, they've invented an entire new class of criminal. Um, yeah, offence. Yeah, mean words apparently is a criminal offence now. Yeah,
Well, the thing is that in the UK they've done a similar thing to what they've done in the United States, whereas a
yeah,
shoplifter in the UK now can
yeah, yeah,
steal up to £200 worth of
yeah,
goods from a shop,
yeah,
and if they steal less than £200, they won't get arrested, or
yeah,
it's just a slap on the wrist.
yeah.
Whereas when I was a kid, if you were caught nicking in shops, you'd get a hefty fine or
Mm,
even prison, depending on what
yeah.
the case. You know.
Well, that's it. Well, sometimes it used to be the case that the copper would take you back to your parents and say, "Yeah, little Johnny's been stealing." The old man would go absolutely berserk with you. The policeman had done his job. Finally got the goods returned. Blimey.
Yeah.
Yeah, has there been a breakdown in our Western society? Yes. The, with all due respect to these developing countries, a lot of people have never been shown a way, or they've come from. Again, I'm not going to use poverty as an excuse. Everybody has a choice. You can be educated. There's no reason anywhere in the world now that you can't, or very few places in the world where you can't educate yourself and improve yourself. Yeah. Sometimes it's been shown how. Yeah, I know what I'm saying here. And this is in the nature of a podcast. Yeah. People are getting more and more opportunities to improve their knowledge. Let's put it this way. Opportunity is something a bit different. Yeah. But if you've got the knowledge, you can then become part of the opportunity. And I don't mean become a game lord or something else like that. I mean become, yeah, something outside that. And people do manage it here. Um, there can be issues with that, and we all know that. But yeah, but we're getting back to the problem. I mean, a prison population costs taxes. Somebody's paying for a prison population. We are, yeah.
Of course.
Um, and the question is then rehabilitation in prison. What's a prison for? Punishment or rehabilitation, or a mixture of the two? Take away somebody's liberties. Somebody shouldn't be able to vote if they're being put in there, or somebody shouldn't be allowed conjugal visits, which is what they're trying across Europe now. This is what you're missing, boy, sort of thing.
Well, they take it out on the cellmates, I'll tell you, and we're coming back
Well,
to Buffy again.
well, yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I've never been a member of the prison population. I know, like I said, I know people that have been, and they don't
It's,
really talk too much about it. Yeah,
of course they don't,
yeah.
especially if they were wearing the skirt.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. It was the argument who gets the top and bottom bunk.